Ethiopia has followed its own unique tradition of Christian religious painting since the adoption of Christianity in the 4th century. Emperors, kings, feudal lords, and high-ranking clerics were believed to be the main patrons of those painters working independently of the monasteries. The second half of the 19th century had brought changes in the painting tradition of Ethiopian painters. In earlier times, the painters used to prepare their paints themselves out of plants and earths. Later, synthetic paints began to be imported and changed the painting tradition of the nation.
Starting from the cave art, it's in the cave art that even before a human being started talking or before having an alphabet, it was the first language that ever been expressed on the wall of the cave. It is an art that were the first means of expression. When we talk about art, it's got, of course, more of a spiritual benefits than a material one. But the country without the spiritual part, without the spiritual wells, I think it will be only the material side. The material side it's nothing, because the matter itself is welded by idea. So art is very important for the society. But I think that from time to time the people are getting aware of the benefit of having art. But Ethiopia is also known for its tradition, and tradition in church wall paintings, mural work, in icons. You know that the art was more or less developed through the patronage of the church. So Ethiopia is known for its cultural heritage.
With the commencement of modernization during the reign of Minin II, more and more foreign travelers had visited the imperial court, and foreigners and embassy delegates started to settle in the capital, Addis Ababa. This caused a rise in demand for Ethiopian souvenirs. As a matter of fact, church painters started to produce paintings for these new customers as well, and for the first time, paintings outside a church context became available in large quantities.
Art is the beginning of a civilization. When we see the history of a great civilization, the starting point is art. So it has a good benefit for developing countries like Ethiopia, full of cultures, full of traditional activities, social lives. You know, when you see the exhibitions, lots of artists express their culture and promote their culture through art. So foreign peoples love Ethiopian culture, and maybe they see our rich culture, and you know, it has good benefits in tourism.
Even though paintings could be acquired rarely commercially, marketable paintings still growing in the city since then. Since the beginning of the 1930s, the demand for paintings has increased greatly, so that painters started to produce in series in artists' workshops. Though the traditional painters benefited from the tourist boom in the 1960s, they no longer received state-commissioned orders for artwork. This is because trained painters who had graduated from the Fine Art School in Addis Ababa were in competition with them and give preference. The 1974 mass revolution and the subsequent situation in the country have drastically reduced the number of tourists, so that the traditional painters lost their private customers as well. The past 2 decades have witnessed revitalization in many forms of art, particularly in the painting art. The artists have been freed from censorship and have relatively produced a significant number of their artworks to satisfy their soul and reflect feelings of the society they live in. Most importantly, the painters began to exhibit their works among themselves and for the community through exhibitions. These days, it's common to display main works for sharing experiences and to create a venue to new talents, among which the Grand Art Exhibition at the Sheraton Addis has been doing its level best to promote Ethiopian artistic talents in Addis and across the country.
The purpose was just to promote Ethiopian art and artists. That is the basic, fundamental feeling to help the Ethiopian artists. So we start that when they see that exhibition, honestly speaking, they feel warmly that, and they have seen some such magnificent work. If 8 of us we have done like this, if we are going to give you a number of artists for next year, can you make it? They said yes, we can. If you help us, as I told you that we need only the space, the catalog, and so on and so on. So they are agree. So for next year, we came up with 30 artists. Both, even the Sheraton management, they really understand that they are going to promote us every year, and so they said this is going to be an annual exhibition, should be from now on. So they are agree with that.
An art is the reflection of the soul of a human being. It is your reflection, your expression, your personal expression. Through that personal expression, you express yourself. Every artist is expressing himself, his internal soul, internal life, internal perception of what he sees around the world, And that is important because whereas, it's only through art, music, and literature that you can read the soul of the artist, the soul of the society, So the big philosophy is, of course, when we talk about art, it has got 2 main important functions. One is it's for social function, and the other one is art for art's sake, So, art is good for society as well as it's good for personal benefit. So you communicate your soul, you communicate what you have inside you. That is the most important philosophy of art, You are not lying. You are simply, you tell what you have inside you. So that is important, because it's only artists that who are bold enough to express their internal life.
Art in Ethiopia is good. To do art in Addis or Ethiopia is good. We have opportunity to sell painting thanks to this exhibition, and we survive with to sell our paintings. It's good to sell paintings because my artwork or all artist work goes to collectors or individual houses, and we have opportunity to give the society what we think, what we want to say about contemporary or everything, what we want to talk or what we want to say with the art.
What I feel in my heart, and I try to listen my heartbeat, and then I try to put that what I feel and what I experienced in life. So mostly I used in canvas on paint. It was my first time to participate this. For the last 4 years I was not participated, and so it was great and good experience I had.
The Ethiopian art has contributed a lot because it is so many ethnics. Ethiopian is around 80, I think, 80, 82. So you see in the exhibition various, which it doesn't feel that it is from one country. So what we got a feedback from foreigners, locals, and within ourselves who have seen, it is a learning process. It is, we have to see ourselves, what does it we mean by showing every canvas. It means for us a lot. With that background, we got a follower. I think the whole idea is to change the image. I think we are in that direction.
I did not expect such a high level of art in Ethiopia, because I did not know very much about art in Africa in totally. But I think this level of art is so high, this exhibition could be in any famous place in the world, like Paris, like New York. It's very, very nice. It's the art in Ethiopia. It has a very, very high level.
The exhibition, I think, it's very good, because in Ethiopia, where you have a situation that is very difficult to have your personal exhibition, it takes time and energy, and you have to have at least a lot of workers, and to do that you need time. But when you are participating in group exhibitions, you will have a chance to see yourself in that exhibition. You know, the most important thing about the exhibition is you learn from the exhibition. After all, it is the artist himself that learns more from the exhibition. When you are working in a studio, you are isolated. You look at your work only separately. But when you bring your work, you participate in a group exhibition, it is there, and then you see where you are, you know. It helps you improve from time to time. You can also see from the exhibition that at the very beginning we were eight artists, and then the number of artists were increasing, and the works are also getting better and better. You see the diversified works of art, and which is very good. I mean, and then there are different age groups, the senior ones and the junior, our students, and it's very good. They have got emotional artwork. We have the experience, and so you can learn from one another, you know. And the other advantage is the works of the artists are exposed to the viewers, both to foreigners and Ethiopians.
For me, it was the opportunity to see myself that where I am, because there are lots of artists participated on that exhibition, lots of popular artists and young artists. So it really helped myself to compare with those artists.
Art by itself is not only done, it's not only painting. When you talk about art, architecture is also included in art, because it is the mother of all artists. Design is also part of an artwork. Graphic communications, graphic artists are also part of art. So art is very fast and diversified. As I told you, it's got a spiritual benefit as well as a physical benefit, material benefit. Our art is, especially painting, has got two, as I told you, two diversified ways. One is art, what you call it, for art's sake. For art's sake. That is only, you simply do artwork, so that an art by itself is, it's beautiful just to see without, it's like a classical music, you know.
For personal satisfaction?
For personal satisfaction, you know. But there are things that are done only for social function, what we call them public art, you know. The country has to awoke and start collecting the most masterpieces of the artists. Otherwise, we are selling our works for foreigners. They take it and they put it in one wall, and so they are not introduced to the society. But when you have a contemporary museum, say for example, permanent museum, you can start from the school. The children will go there, and other people will go there. They learn from the exhibitions, from the contemporary permanent collection. So I think it's good that we have having an exhibition here, but we have to extend it to that extent, so we can collect them in permanent collection, the best ones, you know. For example, you can take Iskender Bogosian. He's a very famous artist, but we know his name, but we don't see his works. The same thing like with Gabriel Christos, like Abdurrahman Mamerchan, the senior artists. So we need to have a permanent collection. I would like to suggest this.
It shows people living on the countryside. It shows the problems of the big cities. It shows the aesthetic parts, how to live, and it utilizes elements of art. I'm not familiar with art too much, but as an amateur in arts I can recognize elements which are very actual, like ornamentic. I saw several pictures with ornamentic elements, and it is not, the pictures are not extremely abstract, so one can develop what the artist has in mind. One can feel this, and I think this is a sense of art, particular painting, to demonstrate the problems of a society, which are evident here. Problems and standard and living quality are expressions of our modern time.
Ethiopian painters are doing their best in serving the society, but as I told you, you cannot judge it unless you see it, because it is in everyone's studio that you see the work of art. Unless we have a permanent museums, a big museum where you can keep the best masterpieces in one space, you cannot judge the Ethiopian art. How can you judge it without having a look at it? It's very difficult, you know. It's doing it because at the same time, the Ethiopian art is not well introduced. We need an art historian and critics who can promote day after day about our artwork. So I think we are only 100. It is a painter himself is painting the pictures, exhibiting his works and teaching there and doing the. We need other people who can promote and help us, including the patrons, you know, rich people. So I think sooner or later, I think we need a contemporary museum where we can have a real permanent collection of a work of art. At that time, we can judge where in the world is our art.